Afternoon and happy Wednesday. Hello, everybody. Hello and happy Wednesday, and welcome back to another fun class here with Michael Stores and Faber-Castell USA. My name is Leigh Ralston. I'm also known as Mommy Leigh on the internet. Would like to thank everybody for tuning in and joining us this afternoon. Happy Halloween, belated. I hope you all had a beautiful celebration yesterday. All right, so we're going to be doing a very fun class today. Actually, I should say fun, but it's more very relaxing. So we're going to do some type of mixed media. Now, in front of me, it's a little bit of a mess here on my desk. I have a lot of stuff happening here, but we're going to go through some of the supplies, my favorite supplies when it comes to mixed media. First of all, not all of these materials and supplies are needed. I mean, I know you might be doing a different project as you're following me along. Maybe you don't have all the supplies that I have in front of me, and that's okay. But I think what's important is for you to see the process, the step by step. And I think that's something that I really love watching other artists do as well, is that seeing their process, how they use the supplies, and how they approach the techniques, and maybe stumble upon a a little bit of some issues and troubles, and how they actually use that to their advantage and use it for their project. And I think it's so important to see that process. In front of me is just a regular notebook, but this one is the journal. It has 160 GSM paper. It's not necessarily a mixed media paper or a watercolor paper, but it's really thick. Now, how I'm able to use this for my mixed media project is I prep the pages. I use some gesso. So first of all, gesso is important if you don't have, a thick canvas, or you want to just use a regular journal but want to do a lot of moisture and a lot of blending and a lot of layers in your journal. So gesso is something that I always have in my stash when I do mixed media. Okay, this, of course, we'll be working with Faber-Castell products today. I have in front of me are the Pitt Artist pens, the big brush. Now, the colors that I have here, as you can see, it's very fall, very dark green. So we have chrome oxide green. We have the chromium green opaque. Then we have a green gold, and also the nougat color. So it's kind of brown. Again, you don't have to have the same color scheme. Whatever you have in there, you can use. Now, I am going to be using the Pitt Artist pens to use to ink my stamps, my wooden stamps. And these are wooden stamps that I have in my stash. This is the brand new set that I purchased from Michael's last month, and this one as well. I really, really love this. It's kind of like an old script. So I love this as my under layer. And you'll see that how I'm going to use that as well. And then I have some like florals in here like this. I don't know where I purchased them, but I've had them forever and I really love it. Now, this one is the set from Michael's. It has a bee, has some butterflies, some ladybugs, and some florals as well. So it's perfect for like a romantic, shabby chic layout. And then I'll be working with some gelatos. Now, the gelatos is what I'm going to use to add some colors in my journal. So in my layout today. And I'm going to pull out the chat to make sure that I don't miss any of your questions as we go along. And if you have any questions in between, you can access the chat section. I'll try my hardest to answer them. I am going to be using some blending brushes. So these are my blending brushes. This set that I got from Michael's has this extra large, it has a large one, and has a mini one as well. And it's, oh, I think it's somewhere here. So it comes in a set, and whatever blending brush you have. I'm also going to be working with some water. I have some water in here. And then baby wipes is something that I'll be using to blend the gelatos also. Now, the next ones are, you don't really need to have it, but if you have it, then that's good. If you have like pattern papers, like scrapbook materials, let's say, some pattern papers that you want to use, this one I really love using. These are vellum tags from Michael's. It has 20 pieces, and I love it because it's see-through. So it has a vellum paper, And I use this to just kind of like add layers and visual interest in my planners. I kind of use it if I want to add some writing, and I don't want to write on top of the finished surface of my layout. Then I add like a vellum because you can still see through the designs underneath, but you have like a paper surface to write on. So it's really nice to have. Um, and then I also pulled out, like what I said, scrapbook materials, some pattern papers. I'm pretty sure you have something in your stash. Go grab some. And then if you don't have any pattern papers, guess what? Magazines will work. I love magazines. Look at this one layout that I created. This is a cutout from a magazine. And I really love how it turned out. Look at that. So we have some splatters in here and we have some textures happening in the back. So we have that. I think with this one, I've mixed acrylic paint, some gessos as well, and some markers, and of course, some inking. So but this is just a cutout from a magazine. So if you have any magazine laying around and you find like textures or colors that you want to use, I actually found something in here. I saw some black and white that is ice. So I'm going to tear that. And that's what I'm going to use. So this one, look at this, how beautiful that one. You can use that for your layout as well. Um, let's see. I found one that's kind of like just ice, and it's in this one will might work, but I found one that is much better because it's just a monochromatic. It's like a black and white. Cecilia, no, we're not going to be drawing any Christmas bear today. That would be next month or next week. When is that? Found this. Oh, this one is really pretty too. So that's what I do with my magazines. Instead of throwing them away, there's like many different textures and colors in here that you can use because I have so many scrapbook papers that were just, it's just keep on buying stuff and not using them. And I have all the magazines. I'm like, you can always recycle and use them, just to add some visual interest in your page. So I think I'm going to go with the black and white girl. We might use that. And then I also got this one. So I was saving this journal. It's a cardboard journal. So it's a very thick material. I think you want to use this if you really have like thick materials that you want to add in here, like metals. You know how those really heavy mixed media projects, I have used those before, but I use a different journal. So I think I might use it today just so we can try it. It's my first time using it with you guys. So, all right, I think I've gone through the materials, brushes. I'm also going to be using the Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils. I will show you how I'm going to use that. Of course, it doesn't want to open. Just do it like that. I can't open it. I don't have any strength. Hello, Patricia. How are you today? I'm trying to open the journal to no luck. Lay. This is what happens when you go on a diet. We don't have energy. My goodness. Hello, everybody. Okay, we're just going to use a piece of paper because the cardboard is not working for me. Still going to work. All right. So first of all, my first step would be to gesso my page. So I'm gonna do that. I have a palette knife that I use to just kind of spread the gesso because I like a bit of texture. So if you want a more smooth surface, then you want to use your finger or maybe you use a sponge to spread. But I love, let me see if I can adjust this one so it's not so bright so you can see it. There, I think that's better. There. I love the texture. This is building texture already. When you use the gesso in the beginning, and I'm just spreading, and the way I'm spreading it is so imperfect. And so also be prepared to have a messy hand. So when I do mixed media, this is what I call my happy mess. If you are someone that is impatient like myself, I'm sure you have a heat tool, a heat gun, and I use that to dry in between my layers because I don't have a whole lot of patience. So I'm just gonna go clean that up, and I'm gonna grab my heat tool here. And I love this heat tool. This is from Ranger because it's not so loud. Now I have tried different heat tool and it's like super loud. It's like I live in an airport because it's so loud. So the first layer has to be dry. Okay, be careful not to pick up anything, but I suppose you can use that for texture also. So I'm using the gesso that I'm using is a matte gesso, a white gesso. There's also clear gessos. It has a bit more tooth. Everyone's different. Some they like to have smooth surface, so they use the white. Like myself, if you want a bit more texture, more toothy surface, then the clear gesso has a bit more texture. All right, so I think it's a little bit dry. Now the gelatos are amazing. I use it a lot for many different type of projects, fine arts, mixed media, coloring, background, creating my own sort of acrylic paint because I mix it with some medium. Like a matte medium like this. If you have a matte medium like this and you have some gelatos, these are really good because you can turn them into sort of like an acrylic paint. So you can create your own colors. Now I have the paper, it's all dry, and you're going to see there's a lot of texture from the palette knife. Don't know if you can see that very well. So there's a whole lot of texture in here, right? So that's the first of our layer. Now, remember what I said about the Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils? I'm going to need that. First, I'm going to grab the stamp set. This is the stamp set that has like scripts and all that. Now, this is what I want to say. If you don't have this script right here, and if you have like a waterproof marker, the Faber-Castell PITT Artist pens, they are waterproof when they're dry. So you can absolutely use that. I have it in here. So this one is their dual markers. They have many different, um, they come in many different tips. They have a 1.5. They also have a soft brush, which I love. If you don't have the stamp set, what you can do is you can create your own, kind of like scribble, right? So you can go over here on one side and just scribble, like pretend like you're writing something like that. So if you don't have a stamp set, I want you to do that. You know, choose some areas that you want to have your script. We are building layers right now. And so with mixed media, I think what's so important to understand is to trust the process. The soft brush and the regular brush tip. Well, I use the soft brush because what it does is that you can get more wider strokes with a soft brush, but at the same time, it's also much harder to control if you're going to use it for lettering. So it's not my favorite to use when it comes to lettering. I love using the brush tip instead of the soft brush. Now, this is the stamp set. I use the Pitt Artist's pen to just kind of color some areas in here. Oops, in the stamp like that. And I'm going to just stamp in here like that. So I have areas like that. Right? And then I'm going to go keep building. I'll add a little bit more. Like that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I promise you. That's the key to mixed media is that it's not supposed to be perfect. I think the imperfection is what makes it so beautiful. That you can also do a second stamp as well. So you don't have to kind of like keep adding your marker. You can just, there's a little bit of ink left. So I'm just like that. All right. Set that aside. And then I'll do a little bit of close up so you can see. All right. So you have all that kind of like an old paper. And then there's a texture from the gesso as well. Now, let me see what I want to do. I really think I want this beautiful young lady in here. So I'm going to cut through it. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Now, if you have pattern papers that you want to use, then you can just use that. But I really want a subject in here without having to draw anything. Does that make sense? All right. Ooh, I love it already. I'm going to use the matte medium to glue it. Oops, I think I used a little too much. But I think that's the thing when I'm doing mixed media is that I'm so not careful. And it's just the opposite of when I'm doing art. I'm so careful with everything. I overthink everything. And so I love doing mixed media is because I don't overthink anything. I just have fun with it. And the imperfections, again, is what I love the most. And so I'm just going to place her there. I think. I really like it there. Like that. Now, one thing that I get asked a lot is that when do you use the Mod Podge? Do you use a Mod Podge with your mixed media? The answer is yes. Now, think of it this way. If you do a lot of makeup, let's say you're doing makeup, right? Um, so the gesso is your primer. That's your first stage. You prime the paper, right? The Mod Podge is your to put to seal everything. So this is my last stage. When I am done with everything, then I use the Mod Podge. But then again, you can use the Mod Podge as a glue to stick things in here. But this is the very last one that I use if I'm going to use a Mod Podge. And I don't use it all the time also. Just depends. I think I use it most when I'm using some canvas. If I'm working on a lot of layers in my layout, but this one's going to be very, very simple. This one layout here. All right, I'm going to go grab the set that I really like. This set, I don't think there is a name. It just says wood stamp set. So when I saw this last month, I'm like, I need to have those little tiny stamps. The butterfly's so pretty. The florals are so pretty. There's like the little buds. I really love those. Like ladybugs. I mean, the bee. I love it. All right. And so I'm going to choose some florals first. Now, if you don't have the Pitt Artist pen, you can use an archival ink. But this is why I love the Pitt Artist pens, is because you can use it for many things. I'm going to go color this. Again, I'm not going to overthink, but also making sure that taking my time to slow down as well, to kind of like think about the placement without overthinking, just kind of like more intuitive. When I'm doing mixed media, it's a lot of just going along with it and what feels good. I think that's the most important. All right. I really like it. Now I want to add some colors in here, but I want to make sure before I add colors is that if this is where I want everything to be. I want to build a bit more texture in here. And so the next part that I'm going to show you is going to be really fun because let me just move water. Water is dangerous. And I have colors in here. The Odyssey color, the gelatos. It's like a very gold yellow. It's so beautiful. Now, the next one I'm going to use is Nebula. This one, I want to use it to create like a patina look, so it's very teal, aqua, turquoise. I don't really know. I think it's more like a turquoise color, the Nebula. It's so beautiful. So, but this time I want to create more texture. So I'm going to use, if you excuse me for a second. So I'm going to use the texture paste that I have. Carla's asking, are you using gesso to glue picture to paper? Yes, no, not the gesso. I did use the medium, the matte medium that I have in here, but you can also use Mod Podge, or you can actually use just a regular glue as well. So no, not the gesso. Right, so this time I'm using this Distress. This is the texture paste. But instead of just plain white, I'm going to mix this texture paste with some gelatos. And by the way, this is a glass mat. If you want to do mixed media, invest in a glass mat or a silicone mat because it's so easy to, it's going to be very easy to clean up. So the gesso is what I used for primer. So basically it's the barrier from the paper to the ink. So from the ink to the paper. So you kind of like have like a middleman here. So it doesn't seep through the paper because we are going to add a lot of moisture in our paper. And since I'm not using a mixed media or watercolor paper, I'm using just 160 GSM journaling paper that I have. So I use the gesso just to have a primer. So as you can see the white parts in there and to also start building my texture in here. So that's the gesso. Now I'm going to add some colors and I really love this Odyssey color. I'm going to go grab my palette knife and I'm going to slice some gelatos in there. Set it aside. Now I'm going to grab some texture paste. Go little at a time because you don't know how much you're actually going to use. So for this next step, I am going to use some stencils to add more texture in my journal. So I'm just mixing it up, making sure. So if you feel like you have more texture paste and the color is not as vibrant, then add more gelatos. Or if it's you're not blending enough, then you don't have enough texture paste. So I'm going to grab a little bit more texture paste in here. And you might want to work a little faster also because you don't want it to dry on you. So there, just adding a bit more. So as you can see, the gelatos are so versatile. You can use it so many ways. I'm just trying to make sure that I have blended all the gelatos out. Now I'm going to grab some stencils. Stencils are so fun to use. Faber-Castell has some fun paper stencils. Also, some of my favorites are from Stampers Anonymous. Look at this one. I really love it. There's like many different textures in here, some crackles, like spots, it's like polka dots, florals. I'm gonna use this one that has little mini polka dots. I'm just gonna add it here on my page where I want it to be. So I'm gonna grab some of this. I'm just gonna spread this like that. So you're gonna have this. See, so it's going to be another layer of texture here, and I love it. So a little bit goes a long way. I may have made too much because I think this is enough for me, but it's okay. Just clean it up. Or if you have like plastic containers that you can use to maybe preserve it like that. So that's all the colors I want in here. I think I'm good with that. So I'm just going to clean it up real quick because it's going to harden and then you won't be able to use your stencil very well. So if you want to clean it up right away, I think that's the best. Because I've had somewhere kind of like, especially when you're playing and you're really doing a whole lot, it's kind of like, I'll just clean that up later. So what happens is that it gets really hard and then it's much harder to clean up after that. So baby wipes are my best friend when I'm doing mixed media because you can just kind of like do a quick cleanup and then you're good to go. Love baby wipes. Or if you have like wet cloths that you can use, then that's good too. But quick and easy. All right. And then I'm going to dry this. Again, there's a lot of drying layers in between. So that's why a heat tool is so helpful. Amy said, I find that when I do the stencil, it doesn't come out clean. What is your suggestion? Um, well, this one especially, I don't think this one is super. Let's see. See, there's a little bit of mess sometimes. What happens is that I've noticed when I'm doing stencils, it's either I'm not holding the stencil well enough or my texture paste is not as thick as I want it to be. If it has a bit more moisture, are you using it wet or are you using it with texture paste? Are you using it dry with just a blending brush? Because I noticed when I used the blending brush with my stencils and then my brush was wet, that's when I was getting a lot. It was not clean at all. I couldn't get a clean shape and clean pattern. So make sure that you are doing your brush is dry because I'm going to show you my blending brush. So what I did was I thought it was a clever idea to kind of like spray water in my blending brush and then picked up some color from the gelatos. And then I started creating some patterns and it was not perfect. It was because I was squeezing a lot of that water from the brush. So it was not giving me a very good impression from the stencil that I was using. So, I mean, that's just maybe it's a different incident, but I thought I'd share that. So maybe don't wet your brush too much. Spray and inks. Oh, okay. So I don't use a whole lot of spray. I do have a lot of spray inks, but it was just a bit too messy for my liking. I need that splatter box, and I don't have the splatter box anymore. Um, with mixed media, see, with mixed media, I really don't mind if it's imperfect. Does that make sense, Amy? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but to me, it's like with the texture paste that I'm using right now, it actually has a crackle finish. So it gives it a bit more texture. So it's even more messier. But to me, that's what I actually love about it. Um, so maybe you're not holding the stencil better. I don't know if that's the case though, because is it the size of the stencil perhaps? Maybe. Okay. So that's one layer. So we have 1, 2, the stamping, and then we have the um our cutout, 3. This was our 4th layer. Now it's time to build the colors in here. So I think I have enough texture that I want. Now to build colors is where I'm going to use the blending brushes, right? As you can see my paper is thin. It's not a thick canvas or paper. So it's warping a little bit, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. I want to add a bit more colors in here. So I'm going to use another color, the green oxide. I'm just going to add this pretty bee. Now, the Pitt Artist pens, these are archival ink. That means that when they're dry, when it's set on the paper, it's going to be waterproof, right? But you also got to give it a little bit of time to dry. So don't feel like you've applied it and then you can use water. It's still going to smudge and blend because it is water-based. But once you allow it to dry, and this time I'm heat setting it just to make sure it doesn't move around when I add some colors and it doesn't blend with the gelatos. So just kind of heat set it in between. All right. For the colors, I'm going to be using the same Odyssey color that I used earlier, but it's going to be very different shade because remember this one, we've mixed it with some texture paste. So we got a lighter version of this color, but this time we're going to get the pure color of this pigment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the outside and I'm going to go in using a circular motion. So kind of like this, right? Just like that. Now what's going to happen is that you're going to get a very light, see how light that is? And I'm okay with that because I like building things up. So you can always put in more, but it's much harder to take out a layer. So it's more work than to just kind of work slow and build up your layers in here. So I really love that color. It's almost like a very antique look. And then I also have colors iced chai and then gold champagne. Those are so pretty. I'm gonna grab in. So I'm also going over my magazine cutout. It doesn't matter. And that's why I wanted a monochromatic because I want the gelatos to really be the focal in here. Just add more. Where your textures are from the texture paste, the patterns are, just go a little lighter over in that area just to make sure they don't, I mean, they're not going to come off, but if you have heavy pressure like myself, sometimes they're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. I really have heavy hand pressure. And then I'm going to go in with the iced chai. This time, I'm going to go get a really concentrated color from this. So I want to go build colors around my girl. So I'm going to apply the gelatos directly like that. And I'm going to dip my pointer finger in the water, kind of like even the baby wipes. You might do that and just kind of start blending. So I want a more intense color in here. Now I'm trying to be careful around my cutout because I didn't seal the cutout with anything at all. So it's still just paper, right? Does it make sense? It doesn't have a gesso layer on top of that. And then I'm just going to clean up areas that I don't want. Just kind of like that.
Hey Lay, whenever you're putting the gelato on your blending brush, how much gelato are you putting on it? Are you like just a little bit, or are you coating it
I
onto
think
it?
I'm putting a lot because I know that I'm going to use it everywhere. So it just depends on what you're going to use it for. If you're going to use it in just one small area, I think just start with little, kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles like that. And then try that if you've gotten enough pigment. But if not, then you can just go back in and just keep adding more. But they're very pigmented also. So a little goes a long way. And then I'm going to use the brush in here to just kind of blend some of those gelatos that we've applied. I really want the dark area there, and I've gotten that. The color that I used here is the iced chai. This is metallic. And as you can see here, you see all those strokes in there. That is from our first layer, the first layer of the gesso that I applied using our palette knife. And so I told you that's going to give you some texture when we start adding colors in here. Like, for example, this time. Ooh, I really like this. I really like those colors. And then I'm just going to use a blending brush just to kind of go over some of the areas where it got stuck in between of those little tiny circle texture. See, I just wanted to kind of like clean up a little bit like that. And see, this is where kind of like when you're doing mixed media, you go move to one layer, right? And you're like, oh, I really like that one. I thought I wanted light. That's why I took out some of the colors in here. But now seeing the intensity of the iced chai here, I really love it. So what I want to do is I want to balance everything, even though that it's almost kind of like you're just laying things down, there's still some you still want to create balance and harmony in your page. You just don't want to splatter all the colors. Now we have limited color palette, and that's what's helping us build some harmony in this page here, because we have very limited palettes, almost like monochromatic. So that helps a lot. I'm just gonna go blend it and bring up there. So this one, what happens is that all the colors, right? So it's almost like we're creating a visual frame for this girl. What happens is that your eyes goes directly to her, right? Because we're kind of like, look at this. We're adding some colors. We're building a frame around her, but not really around the whole picture, but just on top and the bottom left. But what happens is that your eyes, the viewer, when she looks at this, or the person look at this one, what happens is that the gelato, the framing of those colors lead to this subject. So this is the subject in our layout. So I'm going to go in and just kind of like blend around that area too and mix that. Now the gelatos, the reason why I love using them for mixed media is because once this is dry over here, the gelatos becomes permanent. So it becomes waterproof. Once you've blended it out and do all that things that you need to do, they are going to become waterproof. So you can layer on top of this one and not worry about blending those colors together. Now, unless you want to intentionally blend, that you want it to be where you want to work a little faster, right? If that's your intention, is blending. Now, that's not my intention. So I want it to dry a little bit. And while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just going to go over my brush with the baby wipes and just kind of like clean the surface, or vice versa. Have that like that. Right. The next color is, I want to bring in some patina in here. So this color, the nebula color, is super pretty. So now I'm going to go against this. This is a framing, right? Now I want to build my colors of the teal in this area right here. So this is all the area that I want to put my teal color. So this is how much, I don't know if you can see the product, but you kind of like see the color on top of your brush. Now it's easier, of course, if the color is vibrant like this, but if you're mixing brown, then sometimes it's hard to tell how much product you have in the brush. So you kind of like go slow, I suppose, and then build from there. And then I'm going to go up. Don't know if you can already see that. So I can already see the patina effect. And this one is like very perfect finish color because it looks like an old shabby chic layout in here. Oh, it's so pretty. All right. Again, I want all those colors in here and that bottom right as well. And as you can see, all the things that we have applied earlier, it's not going away. Even the one that we stamped using the Pitt Artist pens, they are not moving. They are there to stay. I love it. I think I'm going to add a bit more. Just going to add here. I'm also going to bring it up to my image so it's not stark white. So I'm bringing some of that glow of that teal color. So almost like intentional that the subject has that same color in here. Okay, now I'm going to pause a little bit and see if I want to bring this color over here on the top right. Right now, my initial is that I think I want to. So I'm going to try a small area first. All right, so just here. I want to see the effect. I love it, but I think I want to build another layer of texture. So I want to use some stencil in here. Let's see. Now, this is where I like using the stencils from Faber-Castell. These are cardboard materials, so it's hard to use them um, for wet mediums, but for dry mediums and just blending, they work really, really well. So I have a bigger polka dot in here, and I think that's what I want to use. So I'm just going to hold it up there, and I'm going to add more product in my brush, more gelatos. And then I'm just going to color. Just like that. I really like that. I love it. Now, I think I'm going to add a little bit here as well, but just a little, just in this small area right here. So I'm just using whatever product that I have left in my brush. Just a little bit. Just like that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. That's so pretty already. So we have all that. Ah, so pretty. Now, remember this Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils? Now, this one, what you want to use a water soluble product when you want it to blend. Now, when you don't want it to blend and smudge and ruin the layers in your product, in your layout, in your project, then you want to avoid anything water soluble because it's going to blend, especially if you haven't sealed this layer first. Now, if you want to add something on top of this without moving everything, that is when the Mod Podge would come in. The Mod Podge would seal everything, and then you can add layer on top of that and not worry about this bottom layer here. But to me, I want to try something. I want to try something right now. So bear with me. I really want to add a bit of darkness, kind of like almost like you can use the gelatos for this one, but I think I want to use the pencils and just go around my subject and kind of like build a frame around her, but some scribbles. So I'm just going over her and look how messy it is. And it is intentional. And I'm trying to just kind of like scribble. Because I want this to stand out like that. Just I'm going to pick up a small brush, round brush. I'm going to go dip it in the water. And I'm just going to go around this. All right, because it's going to blend. So I can see what's already happening. It's taken out some of that gelatos in there. So we'll see. I'm just going to keep doing it. I think that area is not dry yet because it's blending with the gelatos. I'm okay with that. That's okay. Again, mixed media taught me so much from it taught me a lot about imperfections and embracing it and really just kind of like going with the flow. Now, this is one problem with not using the gelatos. And this is why I love the gelato so much. I sound like a broken record. Is because if I add another color on top of this water soluble, the watercolor pencils that we use, it's going to keep blending, right? It's going to keep blending and it's going to keep moving. While this is still wet, I'm just going to add a bit more color in here to blend. So you don't add anything water soluble until you are ready to be finished. That's where I was going at. Until you know you're done, don't add that. I'm just adding a bit more there. It's almost like she has a halo in there. I really love the texture from our gesso, that first layer, because all of that is from that gesso that we applied. But that truly is fun. Now, here is the thing. If you're done, if you feel like, okay, I just want to add a bit more color, more intensity over here, for example, then you can keep adding. My problem is when I'm doing mixed media is knowing when to stop. I know it's gonna, I can just keep adding and adding in here, but you gotta have a stopping point. So don't be like me. It's sometimes it's so hard because you know that you can just keep adding and it's still gonna look great, but you're not always lucky. There's something that's gonna happen. You're like, oh, I wish I just stopped there. But I just wanted to build the intensity there and add a bit more color, but I think I'm almost done. Just want to bring this one over here, but that's it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so for the vellum, like what I said, I love adding this. For example, you want to cover this up and add some journaling, then you can add the vellum piece in here. You can just use a regular tape because the reason why I love it is because you can still see through your page, right? If you want to add it in here, you can do that. You can put that in there. You can use some yarn. You can just staple it. You know, it adds another visual to staple. It has a certain look to it. Let's do that. Instead of using a tape, I'm going to staple. And it's going to add another visual. Almost like it really matched the grunginess of this page right here. But yeah, like what I said, you cannot really do anything to mess it up unless of course, you know, there's kind of like colors that don't blend well together. That's going to be the tough one. So I'm getting a little bit of that iced chai, and I'm just going to add color a little bit to the bottom of my vellum paper, just to not be stark white. Just adding some color to it, just like that. And then I'm done. Then you can add a little bit of journaling. But that's it. That is our project today using the gelatos. I hope that you enjoyed it. I truly did enjoy it. I mean, we started with just a piece of paper. And I think that's the beauty of just kind of like picking whatever you have in your stash. You know, you have all these supplies already. I'm pretty sure of it. So use a magazine, maybe newspaper instead of the stamps, and you want kind of like some layer underneath. You can use like old newspaper, old books. I love using old books as well. So just add layer into things. But remember, gesso is your bottom layer. That's your primer. You know, you need to add that to the first page, and then you build your layer from there. So, and then if you want to seal this, which I don't think I will, then you can Mod Podge and seal everything in. But I think I'm happy with this. I don't have any problem with transfer from the gelatos, because once the gelatos are dry, they are not going to move. So they're not going to transfer into your next page. So you don't have to worry about that, at least for my personal use, because I really blend my gelato. So once it's dry, it's dry. They don't move, they don't transfer. So I don't have to worry about that. But thank you guys so much. The gesso that I use is from Liquitex. See, I got this from Michael's as well. So this is my favorite. I got the big one because I use a lot of gesso. So I really have, I think that's my fourth one so far this year. But thank you all so much. Thank you for joining in on behalf of Faber-Castell USA and Michael Stores. We thank you for being here and joining us. We hope to see you again next week, same time. We have another fun class. It's same time, 5 o'clock Central Standard. So make sure to visit Michael/classes. We hope to see you again. Stay creative and stay happy. Until next one, everybody. Bless you all. Thank you all.